Hey guys, I am going to show you some vital information if you want to start a composting bin. A lot of people think composting is super difficult, and it's actually really easy once you have the information. So firstly, I want to talk about the things that you can put in your compost. You can pretty much put all food scraps in there. The only things that you want to be careful about are things like lemon, because you don't want to make, or citrus, because you don't want to make the soil too acidic. There's also things like meat scraps as well, not too much of that because it tends to bring in pests. And then one thing we found that doesn't really break down very well is onion, and avocado pips are the bane of my existence. They constantly hang around in big compost piles, so unless you want random shoots of avocado, leave the avocado pips out. I actually believe you can grate them and use avocado pips as a soap. So I'm going to show you the next point, which is how to do a good ratio. If you put too much wet stuff in your compost, and wet stuff is all food scraps, what happens is you get this, is it anaerobic mix? An anaerobic mix, and that's what smells really gross. You don't want your compost to be too wet or too dry, otherwise it's not going to blend well and break down properly and get the right nutrients and bacteria happening in there. So pretty simple. I've got a bunch of scraps. Here you can see it's just leafy greens. The ratio is for every bucket of greens or food scraps, you're putting in 3 times the amount of dry stuff. So that's like this stuff, or I'll show you if you come with me. Pea straw. So pea straw is another one that's really, really good. And you can see that dry matter like leafy greens, dry greens is a really good thing to dry out the mixture and create some air in there. So basically you put your scraps in, it's pretty simple. And then you would fill up 3 of these, put in your brown matter. It doesn't have to be exact, it can be a guesstimate. You just want to make sure that you've got plenty of dry stuff going in there. I also wouldn't recommend putting too much of these hard sticks in. Like, it's okay because we're only using a couple of buckets worth, but usually go for pea straw. I believe lucerne straw is okay as well. Leaves like dried maple leaves, that kind of stuff is brilliant. So once you've done that, you put the lid on and you leave it, but then you want to try and come back to your compost heap and use a fork or an aerator. It looks like a corkscrew, and you put it in, corkscrew it down, pull it back up, so you're actually mixing it up and getting the air in there, because the air making contact with the compost mix is what creates that breakdown. A bin like this would take 4 to 6 months, do you reckon, Matt? Yeah, Matt's nodding at me. So probably about 4 to 6 months if you do the right things. The other thing I wanted to mention too is this is a standalone bin. You want to see, when you lift up this little guy here, when you start building up the compost, you really want to see lots of worms. Not worms trying to run away from the mixture, but worms actually actively in there. I don't even know how to get this bloody thing back on. That'll do. Once you've got a nice bin built up, you want to see lots of worms in there, because those guys are the ones that do all the work and break it down for you. You can also get tumbler bins, and they're like a barrel and you turn them. The only difference with tumbler bins is they don't have access to the soil, which means worms aren't going to come up from beneath, and you also don't have that added extra of regenerating the soil beneath it. You kind of have to add some stuff in there. So that is the basics of composting. I put all the notes in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know.